Hey y'all. Sorry, I've been off for a little bit. My apologies. I have finals. My children and their stuff. I had to take my oldest baby to do testing. Please forgive the bikers going past my window if you guys can hear them. It's been a lot going on. I also went to go tour a new school for my two younger ones. That is over in the area that I would like for us to live in. Praise the Lord, and hopefully they get in. I applied. Of course, they made us choose like two different choices, two other choices, but I only want the one choice, so we're done with that one. But um, yeah, welcome to the Rose Garden. If you do not know who I am Kimberly Ann, and I am a single mom of three. I have just recently decided to go back into the dating scene after taking an extensive amount of time off, just to take time to learn myself, glow myself up, and just learn the lessons that I needed to learn from my past relationships. So, what I have decided to do with this platform, which is something that I technically already do every day with my coworkers, is to share my wisdom, knowledge, and life lessons that I have learned about how to fall in love, how to be in love with yourself, how to date properly, and baby, how to take a F it all pill every morning. That's what I'm here for. So, in today's topic, and I actually shot this video once before, but I'm glad I waited because I ended up getting more insight today at work with one of my sweet, sweet coworkers. So, in today's video, I want to touch on some of the things that I talked about with her, and it helped enlighten her to her current situation. And I hope that it helps to enlighten you too, because as you all know, I make these videos not just for us, not just for my entertainment, to run my mouth as I like to do, but I'm also doing this for my daughters, my three daughters, and my four nieces, because they're going to be in the dating scene too. And unfortunately, grandma and grandpa are not the best source. Hence, that's why I'm here now. Okay, that's why I've gone through some of the things I've gone through, and my poor brother is going through what he's going through, but we won't go there. So, here I am. Story time. My poor coworker walks into the pharmacy today, and you can just feel like I am an empath. I really, really, really feel people's energy. I'm an empath, intuitive empath, however you want to call it. They call me more of a Sigma empath because I can literally read your energy, chew you up, and spit you out. That's me. So she walks in. You can feel this energy of she was just going. She's mentally drained, exhausted, drained, tired as shit. And actually, she didn't even walk to the pharmacy. Take that back. So my pharmacy door is here. The bathroom door is here. And she was getting ready to go into the bathroom, and she's like, I am so exhausted. And I was like, babe, what vitamins are you taking? And she's like, C and D. And I was like, oh, baby, come into my office. Come into my office. Let me show you my arsenal of vitamins that I'm taking. Okay, because you're missing some protein. You're missing something, baby. You're missing something. So I had her come into the pharmacy, and she came, and I pulled out. I have a bag. It's a Van Gogh bag. I love Van Gogh. Anybody knows me? I love Van Gogh. He is my favorite artist when I was in art school. Okay, and I pulled out each bottle one by one. Magnesium, ashwagandha. I had two ashwagandas. They both come with different. The one has the most milligrams of maca, but it has the ashwagandha blend, and the other one is full doses of ashwagandha with other blends. I pulled out my, well, I didn't have the neem because in the glass bottle, can't take that into the jail. But I told her also take neem. I pulled out my sea moss and my burdock, as well as my, what else? Elderberry mix gummies. And what else did I pull out? Oh, and my Tonka Alley, to keep that drive up. You know what I'm saying? Keep that. Anybody know what it is? You know what it is, but don't worry about that. And I put all my stuff, and she was like, "Holy cow!" And I'm like, "Babe, there are people who take more than this in pills just to keep them alive. This is nothing. Like, there's people with heart disease taking more than this. I'm a firm believer. I'm going to take as many vitamins as I can take now so that I don't have to deal with that shit later. Because I'm a nurse. I've worked in the industry. I worked in damn near every practice. And I'm sorry, but those pills that they give people kill people. I Fire me. I don't give a shit. But it kills people. So I'm not going to take any of that. I refuse. Okay? I refuse. So she was like, wow. I said, babe, you really need to manage your stress. I kid you not, whenever people come into their pharmacy and I feel the stress on them and I say something, they start crying. And I'm not saying that in a joking manner or talking about them in any shape, form, or fashion. If any of you see this, no. It's like they come in there and I'm able to help them kind of realize they're not putting themselves first. And that's part of the reason why I leave out names too, because I don't want them to feel like, oh my God, you're talking about me. No, I would never do that. Okay, I would never do that. But any stories I'm telling, baby, guess what? I probably got a similar story. Okay, I've been through some stuff. Thank the Lord, I am healed to a point. Don't I'm not perfect. Okay, I'm not perfect, but I've gotten to a point in my life where I don't I don't get triggered as much anymore. And I want to help other women get to that point where they're not triggered too. You know what I'm saying? Where they take a fuck it all and they go on about their day and say, them niggas. Okay. So she starts crying and she's like, see, I was like, hold on. Wait, before you get started, I don't need to know detail. I don't need to know. I don't want to know. I don't need to know. She's like, no, no, it's okay. Mm. Sorry, I think I fooled my teeth. And she's like, you know how you have someone and you feel like they're just draining you and you don't know how to tell them to get the fuck out. And I was like, ooh. And we got to talking. Baby girl expressed to me how she basically is in this relationship where she's literally doing all the work. And all I could say to her was, you sound like me when I got to the point that I was fucking tired. Now, I did not get as deep as she did. She purchased a house that is fully paid for. I'm like, girl, you're in the best position. She has no kids. She's in a better position than I was when I bounced. Um, she has no kids. She purchased another car so the gentleman can drive. She said when they first got together, and things move pretty quickly. And I even asked her, I said, so let me guess, you guys got engaged pretty, excuse me, why every time I start a video I want to start burping? This is so rude. I'm not editing it out. I can't, because it takes me forever to fucking post the videos because I'll be too busy trying to edit. But I said, you guys got engaged pretty quick, didn't y'all? And she was like, how'd you know? I said, because my husband and I got engaged in like 2 months, my ex-husband and I. And that was a relationship that I wish to God I never had. Why do I have to sneeze? This is some sucker shit right here. Oh my God. I have to sneeze. So if I sneeze in this video, please forgive me in advance. And she was like, oh my God, yep, it did. She's like, he came off like he was a certain way. And then as time went on, he got fired from a job. He wasn't helping with nothing. He supposedly all of a sudden needed to go back to school. I was like, sounds like my ex-husband. I told her how my daughter told me maybe about 2, 3 weeks ago how her dad told her I clean my house just to impress your mom. I don't even clean my house for real. She was like, "Are you see?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, "He put on the whole front." And I fell for it because, he was a nice guy. He was different. And that's what she was saying. He was different. He wasn't like what she was used to. And I'm just like, man, girl, you got God. Like, you got God. And I'm not laughing at you, baby. I'm laughing with you because me too. Okay. And so she was like, I just don't know how to tell him I don't want to deal with him more. And I said, baby, choose you. Like, what do you want? Listen to your body. What is your body telling you? Okay. Is your body telling you that this is great? Keep going? I don't think so. She's like, no, it's not. I know it's not. You're not pleased with where you are right now. Because if that's the case, you would not be standing here crying. So I was just floored. I wanted to create this video because originally I was making this video where I wanted to talk about listening to what the men aren't saying. And honestly, I don't want to focus on the negative of the man. I want to focus on us. 11-11, as I said that. I want to focus on us, okay? I want to focus on everything we need to do to protect ourselves from ending up in situations where we later stop and start bawling our eyes out, all because we realize somebody is an idiot. So I'm not going to talk about them. I'm redirecting my videos to talk more about us. Okay? So I want to give you guys maybe about 3 to 4 tips on when you hit that point in your relationships that you really are tired of the dynamics. And I'm only giving you tips and pointers from my perspective, things that I did where I just was like, I'm done and it's time to run. And how I adjusted my mental and readjusted my mental to one, transform my love life to where now I'm attracting some of the most high value men that I've ever attracted in my life. Two, I mean, look at me. Like, I've glowed myself the fuck up. If you guys had seen me when I was freaking married, 2021, 12/21, as I said that, see me when I was married, y'all, I looked the age I am now. I look the age I was. Like, ugh. That's what I just want. Let's just get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. I'm sorry, because we already like 12:39. We 12 minutes in. Okay. For starters, when you realize that you now have realized that the person that you've connected yourself to is basically not pulling their weight, I need you ladies to understand that when you realize that, it's time to let go. Do not hold on to potential. And I told that young lady that because she was like, I just keep this hope that let it go. If if he ain't done it by now, and you guys are planning a life together, they're engaged. She's not wearing a ring now, mind y'all that. In her mind, she's done. Her body is telling her she's done, but her mind keeps trying to. Her mind, as the cops coming by, Lord Jesus. Oh, that's Cleveland Clinic Police. Oh my God. Y'all know it'd be so much drama outside my house. Don't mind me. But as she's trying, she in her mind is trying to bring logic to why she shouldn't get rid of him. Because, and I had to tell her, like, I know why your mind is trying to keep him. I know why I was there. Because in your mind, will there be anybody else? Will there be anybody better? Because this person came in and they knocked you off your socks, in so many words. They tried to make you, tried to show you that they're the best for you. They tried to be different. They love bombed you. They gave you everything you wanted in the beginning, but now that they think they got you, they just for shit. Excuse my language, YouTube. So I get it. But when you realize that a man is not living up to the potential or the pedestal that we put them on, you got to let them go. That's number one. Let them go. I can't express enough. And I'm not just saying let them go physically, because it's one thing to let them go physically, But if you haven't let them go energetically, mentally, emotionally, you're going to literally attract the same thing back. And what's crazy, when her and I was talking, she said, I even tried to throw my hat in the dating ring. She's like, and they weren't right either. I said, here's why. You haven't energetically detached from what you have already. You're still energetically attached. If you were detached, you would not give two shits if you kicked him out. You wouldn't care. You would not care. She's like, you are so right. I said, so why should the universe give you a new version of a man if you're not even healed from the prior man, or the man you technically was still with? That's neither here nor there. Excuse me, you guys, my allergies. So let go mentally, physically, emotionally, okay, energetically. Find a way to do it. The next thing that I told her, learn the art of detachment. I know letting go and art of detachment is interchangeable, but once you let them go, you have to know how to remain detached. I can't express that enough. When I'm telling you, when I let go of all my kids' fathers, after I let them go, I gave my mind, body, and soul time to remain detached. I learned the art of detachment. And that art of detachment is not where you learn that art one time and you're done. No, you're going to have to learn that after each person that you end a connection with. Each person. Even if it's a 2-second connection, you have to detach from the potential that you thought it had. No excuses. So, number one, let go. Number two, learn the art of detachment. Look it up, Google it, watch a video on YouTube, take notes of this video, whatever you got to do. My baby, you need to let it go. You need the art of detach. You need to be so detached, because one nurse, she also was crying. She was like, so that's just letting go. I said, no, baby. The art of detachment, my dear, is the house is on fire, shit's blowing up left and right. You are sitting in your backyard with a mock tie and your feet crossed on a beach chair. That is the art of detachment. That is you making a formal decision that will benefit you, and you sit back and watch the cards fall. That is the art of detachment. Let go, number one. Number two, art of detachment. Once you realize, okay, I'm ready to let this go, then you need to slide over and learn to remain detached. So the next thing her and I end up talking about is, I told her, and I'm telling you guys this in this order because this is the way I did it. Let go or detachment. The next was, I redirected my energy. So redirect your energy. Now, there's a bit of a step in between the art of detachment and redirecting your energy. And that is realizing in that little space, it's realizing all the work and the energy that you put into someone else, you now learn to turn it inward. Take me for example. I just wrapped up a $25,000 event that I hosted at the end of during Labor Day weekend, 2024. I put out so much energy for that event. I created an app. I did a website. I had contracts or deals with Cedar Point, Hilton, United, Southwest. I used several different venues, at least about 4 or 5 different venues for the day parties, and I used 3 different venues for the skating events where we would skate all night. One night we skated from 11:59 to 7 in the morning. The sun came up. I put out so much energy for that party. One, I was fueled by masculine energy, and I was fueled by a lot of anger. because I had so much resentment for the amount of hate that I got for trying to put my city on the map, that by the end of it all, I was alone at the top and I didn't like it. So I let it go. And then I remained detached from it when I made the decision I'm not doing it again. That would be the last one. After that, so after that art of detachment period, I realized how strong I was. I realized how much skill I had. I was able to build an app, build a interactive map within the app, a whole community. I had over 800 members of the website, everything. But I was alone. I was fueled off of masculine energy. By the end of that party, I was so swollen from water and stress weight. My cortisol levels, I'm sure, was at death. I'm sure. Death. High as fuck. Have a heart attack anytime. Okay? Fight or flight. Every day was my life for 2024. From 2023, when I decided to move my party from March to Labor Day weekend, till it was done. Okay? So I thought about it. I wrote it down like, damn, bitch, you really did that shit. You really did that shit. $25,000 later, I only made back about 17, 18 of it. And that was it. Flew out 17 DJs. Half of them were fucking divas. I was like, you know what, babe? You're doing too much. And I realized that the community that I was doing it for wasn't ready for the change. They weren't. I forced the party, literally. So I said, babe. And then not to mention, my child's father came out of incarceration right after that party had ended. So then I end up taking that same energy and drive that I was fueling into that party, and I started fueling it into him. But by that December, I realized, babe, you're doing way too much for things and people outside of yourself. Shut it down. My body said, shut it down. Okay? I shut it down. I said, all that effort and stuff that I'm pushing into others, I'm going to push it into me. But there's a part of me that always loves to help people. Why? Because I'm an Aquarius rising. And what are we? We're the philanthropists. We are the community activists. And we want everybody to win. But nobody can win if you ain't winning. You can't help nobody win if you ain't winning. So I wrote down all my skills. I wrote down what I'm really good at. I wrote down what naturally comes to me, which is when I'm at work and I'm conversing with my friends and we get into topics like this shit comes out of me so naturally. I said, I'm gonna do something that works for me, something that can help me as well, because I can turn around and watch my own videos. This can help my daughters, my nieces, my friends. I can say, hey, go watch that video. And I love this. I'm in my own space enjoying this. So I redirected the energy that I put out into me. Doing this podcast video style channel that I'm doing, I started playing with how I like to wear my hair, how I like my makeup. I'm even getting back into redoing my wardrobe. When I was a skater for the last 5, 6 years, 6, 7 years, in the skate life, all I had was cut up sweatshirts, cut up t-shirts, sheer pants. I didn't have nothing. Like, even if I wanted to date a high value man, I didn't even have the clothes to go out with him. But stopping to redirect all that energy back into me and stop pushing it outwards and really feeling my body and what makes me feel good, what makes me look good, what makes me smell good. Baby, listen, this is the best I ever smelled. I got people telling me all the time, Kim, you smell good as fuck. Excuse my French, YouTube. Y'all know I cuss. They like, you smell. My one, he was like, you distracting. I can't have you next to me. That's what the guy said to me at work. He's like, you are distracting because you smell that good. I love it here. Okay. I'm getting better responses from the men at work, and I've been there for 4 years, than I've gotten in the last 4 years. I'm talking about they're trying to ask me out, take me to dinner. all types of stuff going on right now. Okay? And that's all because I redirected the energy to me. I went viral on the date nap. Okay? I go viral on that mug every week. Okay? I have nothing less than 50 likes a day. Nothing less. But at like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I don't know what it is about Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those men are really looking for women on those days. 200, 300 likes all the time. There's a plethora of men that desire to take me out, and I'm enjoying it, every bit of it. I have gone on a date every week. Every week, I have gone on a date in the month of April. Okay, I'm hitting my goal, hitting my average. Okay, I'm a go. So redirect the energy to you. Find what makes you feel good. Learn it to the T. Perfect it, master it, baby. Listen, master you, okay? Pray a little. Stop and say to God, listen, God, I don't know how I got myself into this. Only you know, but I need you to help me get me out of this energy that I'm in. Get me out of whatever it is that got me where I want to overdo for people that would never do that for me. I realized that as well with the community that I was helping, as well as with my child's father. They will never do any of that for me. They won't. So stop. I stopped. I feel so much better now. I feel like a fucking queen. I feel amazing. But I will say this, and this is the next step. So let me run it back again. Let go. Art of detachment. Redirect the energy back to you. But remember to realize how your skills that you learned from when you were overdoing. Remember those skills. Take that with you when you redirect that energy. Everything you do for everybody else, baby, guess what? You could do it for you 10 times over. Period. So the next one, after you redirect the energy in to yourself, I want you to look for any childhood wounds that you may have. Look for those childhood wounds. This is your key to your glow up, ladies. In case you don't know, look for your childhood wounds. Coach Anwar said when you go to write down qualities that you want in the person you're looking to be with, think about the things you didn't get from your parents. And I felt like that hit because there was a lot I didn't get from my parents, like dating advice. My dad was never an affectionate dad. He was there, but he wasn't affectionate. We wasn't getting hugs from him every day. He wasn't, baby, I love you. Baby, you're adorable today. You look beautiful today. My daddy didn't do that. You know what my dad did? Because I realized my dad was a bit of a narcissist. And I hate to even call my dad that because that's my daddy, But I grew up and realized why I was attached to guys who love bomb me. And then they turn around and dog me. And I was still trying to. My dad would hit me with you're fat. You need to lose weight. Even though I was playing two sports at once. And I would play more sports and more sports to try and get his approval and never got it. To the point I've grown up, and anytime he tries to go there with me, I immediately throw my guards up and I throw it the fuck back without any remorse. He tried it with my oldest child. I remember one day he wanted to hear her with she gaining weight. She did. I said, hold on. Lena, what did your grandfather feed you for lunch yesterday? McDonald's. I don't want to hear another word. Do not do that to my child. Why are we gaslighting? Why are we doing that? One, you're gonna tell her she's fat, but you're feeding her shit to make her fat. We're not doing that. He tried to hit me with one day. See, Ebony, you gotta act more like a girl. You cuss like a man. I said, so, Daddy, and I told the girl this because I was telling her like, this is how you're going to divert a lot of that BS. I said, Daddy, how do you expect for me to not cuss like a man, but I'm out here doing nigga shit? He's like, wait, Daddy, Across the lot from the house that I stay in, you have a house full of male tenants. And I take their trash out every Friday because you promised them a trash service. But I'm not supposed to cuss like a man. Who helped you get that couch in the other day? He's like, ooh. I said, yeah. You can't expect for me to be a woman when it's convenient for you and a nigga when it's convenient for you, and then expect for me to be a woman 100% of the time. You cannot expect for me to be a woman when you got me doing nigga shit. It's not gonna happen. My dad found somebody to take that trash out every Friday. I have not had to touch that trash since that conversation. Only I had to touch it once because the guy was, I think, in the hospital or something. But by that next Friday, that nigga was back out that hospital and my dad hadn't put that trash out. Yeah. I'm like, and my babies are not doing it either. They need to learn how to be girls. They do. Now, I'm not saying, and I'm not bashing my parents. So if anybody see this, girl, she talked about y'all like a dog. Sorry, my seat keep lowering. My seat be hydraulic sitting down, child. I'm not bashing my parents. My dad grew up hood. He's from Atlanta. He's from the hoods of Atlanta. And he grew up hood. One thing we gotta learn about these hood figs that we be dating, ladies, they were so used to seeing their mothers bend over forward, backwards, side to side, Circus Soleil for niggas. They expect for women to do that for them too. And here's the sad part about it. They watch so many of their moms. They watch their moms so many times do acrobats for niggas, but nothing for them. Nothing for them. In my dad's case, his mom was murdered when he was young. So he had no choice but to resort to being a hood fig to feed himself. So I'm not, damning my parents in no shape, form, or fashion. But even my mom, like my mom works hard. Even for my dad, go work a job. The whole your dad needs this, and she's running. You get what I'm saying? Like I've watched her throwing herself on the car just to keep my dad. I've watched so much, and I'm just like I had to unlearn it. So let go. Art of detachment. Remember your skills from when you were busting your ass. Keep those skills because now you're going to use them on yourself. Okay? You're going to use them on yourself. You're going to redirect your energy to you, and then you're going to look within, and you are going to recognize your traumas and heal them. These are the keys to your glow up, ladies. This is just the start. We're just touching the iceberg. That's just the start of what I did. Okay? There is more. We'll get into that later because we're at 33 minutes on this video, and I really didn't want to make it that long, but it ended up being that long. I hope y'all still with me. If you are, guess what? You might as well subscribe to the channel because you've been here in the Rose Garden for 33 minutes. Okay? Go ahead, subscribe, like the video, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, the whole 9 yards. I love you guys in the moon and back. If you are new here, baby, welcome. Thank you for sticking around and chopping it up with me. Okay? And if you are a returning subscriber, guess what? I love you. You already know. So that is the end of my spiel. Okay, ladies? Don't forget, let go, art of detachment. Redirect your energy into yourself. Look for your traumas and heal them based on your parental upbringing. Okay? You got to unlearn some things so you can learn new things. I also told that young lady, create new neural pathways. She said to me, and then I'm going to shut this video down, I promise. She said, I wish that I was born with, it was a trait that I was exuding off. She's like, and I wish that I was born with what you have. I said, baby, create it. I said, were you born with this trait to build a nigga? She's like, you know what, you right. I said, you learned that, baby. Unlearn it. Get rid of it. Tear up that neural pathway, baby. Make a new one. You weren't born with build a nigga DNA, baby. Get rid of it. Mm. Take that DNA, boo, reboot it, redirect it, recreate it, create a new neural pathway to create a new baddie. A new baddie. Look in the mirror, talk to yourself. I'm the baddest in the room. I'm the baddest in any room I walk into. Matter of fact, when I walk in the room, I become the room. The room becomes me. I'm the most magnetic. I told her, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm beautiful. I also told her, start retraining your mind to feel that everything you're doing for this man is no longer natural. I said, do it for a couple days. I guarantee you, the next time you get ready to go swipe your card for this nigga, you're gonna want to vomit in your mouth. She was like, I never thought to do that. I said, we're not taught to do that. Our society has taught us to desensitize our feelings. So then we're literally working with no common sense. Unfortunately, we're in a narcissistic patriarchal society. They don't want us to feel. Once you begin to feel, you begin to make better choices. They don't want you to feel. You will put yourself before them. Men need us. The hell? They can't even come into this world without coming from between our legs. Hello. I don't see no men popping open. Hello. Let me not, cause I don't want my video to be censored. So I'm done. It was fun. Thank you for tuning into the Rose Garden, my babies. Over and out.